Hi guys, what the Trump administration is doing in regards to China is frankly embarrassing at this stage. If you remember, we had reports that the US president had imposed tariffs on China's imports with the goal of them not responding with their own, and then getting on the phone to the White House in order to make Trump look good. This was a completely crazy approach which has blown up in Agent Orange's face. As we saw, China decided to take its business elsewhere, but instead of admitting defeat and try to mend bridges, the Trump administration is doubling down on the narrative that negotiations are still taking place between the two presidents. Have a listen to this.
Plan on calling your counterpart?
We will see what happens with China. That it's important. I think it's unsustainable from the Chinese side. So maybe they'll call me one day.
The WTO says trade could dip 80% between the U.S. and China if something doesn't happen quickly. Do you see it that way?
Well, look, that's why I believe it's unsustainable, because they sell to us 5 times more than we sell to them, and we are a crucial part of their business model. So selling cheap, subsidized goods into the U.S. is crucial for the Chinese economy. I believe we're already seeing a slowdown there. The government's trying to take measures counter-cyclical to help the economy. So, Brian, in the history of trade negotiations or trade slowdowns, it is the surplus country that always loses the most. And, we have a huge deficit.
Okay, then why don't you reach out to China? Like, you keep saying they need to call us. Well, we're hearing so many different narratives. We've heard that Donald Trump has spoken to the Chinese president. We've heard that there are negotiations taking place, and now we have the Treasury Secretary saying, no, I haven't spoken to my Chinese counterpart. So what the heck is going on? Is it still an approach they need to call us? You're the ones who imposed the tariffs in the first place. Now you want China to respond by calling up Donald Trump and begging him to lower the tariffs. They're not going to do that. I've said this from the very beginning. It's really important for Xi to show strength to his nation, but also to countries around the world. All he has to do is sit back and watch the Trump administration implode. And Trump is going to receive pressure going forward, because remember, the tariffs have just been imposed, but the costs have not been seen yet. Inventories are running low. Suppliers of products in the US are going to have to start importing stuff. They're going to have to start facing the consequence of these tariffs. Either they absorb those costs themselves, or they pass it on to the consumer, or in some cases, they just stop buying and then they end up going bust. So there's going to be pressure, not on China, but on Donald Trump's administration. Remember, we haven't seen the impact of the tariffs yet, or whatever impact we have seen is very limited. The real impact is going to come probably in a month's time. And then Donald Trump, what will he do? Will he be the one calling the Chinese president on the phone saying, please, it was a mistake? Or is Donald Trump too arrogant to do that? Are the people around him too stupid to put pressure on the president to do that? Because China can go elsewhere. They can absorb that damage. It's not in their interest. They don't want to go down this road. But in what scenario is it beneficial for China to go begging to Donald Trump? And remember, even if they do a deal, there's no guarantee that Donald Trump would respect it. So the ball is in Donald Trump's court. China is sitting back and saying, look, it's up to you if you want to have a deal. You need to lower your tariffs and then we can negotiate something. That's what should have happened at the very beginning, but Donald Trump doesn't seem to understand how tariffs work. And he doesn't seem to be willing to surround himself with somebody who does.